Okay, welcome to Current Exposure. How is everyone doing out there? I was supposed to be somewhere else today, but I just had to come on and go live for you guys. Okay. So basically, today I'm going to be talking about the election results for New Jersey's primary governor. Right now, we have Mikey Sherrill, who won the nomination for the Democratic Party, and Jack Ciattarelli, who won for the Republican Party. So in November, the two candidates are going to face off for governor of New Jersey. As we know, our mayor Raj J. Baraka ran, and he came in second place. He did not win the Democratic Party's primary. So he did a good job, though. He did pretty good. I was impressed. However, I think that he should. Well, I was talking with Zaire Ruffin. He'll come on, and I need him to come on and tell his side of the conversation. But overall, we were thinking, if Mayor Baraka is truly committed to being a legislator, he should he should try to get the lieutenant governor spot. I know some people were on Facebook talking about he shouldn't take it. He's not going to take it if it was offered to him. But if you're really about making changes for the people, then I think that's something that he should really consider if he were asked by Mikey Sherrill. I think that would work out for the betterment of everyone, and even Newark. I think it will have a positive impact on Newark, and I think a lot of things can be addressed. A lot of issues can get addressed, and then what else did I want to talk about? I wanted to talk about the role of our elected officials. It's not once you become an elected official, you have to throw out all the ghetto-ness, all like the childish and petty behavior, and you have to really elevate your attitude, elevate your character to the next level. You can't be out there throwing bowls, engaging in the business of protesting, even though some people feel like you should, but you shouldn't, because you'll end up in a situation like our Congresswoman McIver, where now you're having to defend some actions that you took that may be regrettable one day. It could have been handled differently. Delaney, I'm going to call it the Delaney Hall Smackdown, because that's what it was treated like it was a city hall meeting, a Newark City Hall meeting. That's the type of stuff that happens in Newark City Hall, which I think shouldn't be happening, but it does happen because there's a level of acceptance for it, and the leadership engages in stuff like that. So when you become an elected official on a federal level, you got to get rid of that behavior. You have to grow up. You have to mature really fast, because what's acceptable at the local level is not acceptable on the federal level, especially that type of behavior. A lot of people I want to talk about, a lot of people throw out their assumptions and their opinions without any facts to back it up. You have to have facts to back up what you're saying, not think that you're going to out talk somebody and get your way, because it doesn't work like that in the real world. That may work like that in your little circle. You may be able to out talk somebody and make them, pressure them into doing what you want them to do, but in the real world, you will FAFO. And you know what that means. And that's what's happening to people who aren't prepared for next level stuff. You have to be informed of what you're getting into. Read the employee handbook. Learn the do's and don'ts of your role and your position before you just start jumping into there and doing whatever you want, what you think is right, what you think will fly because it's allowed in Newark. That's not the case in the real world. So, and I just hope that elected officials and people just jumping out too, saying that they want to run, understand what you're getting involved in. Understand that these positions of leadership are serious, and it's not for your personal advancement, even though people get into them and it becomes them growing financially while the rest of the community doesn't. It should be about the greater good, and one person is not greater than everybody. And I think we're going to see this play out over the course of this season, this election season. Good evening, George, and peace and blessings to you as well, Muta. George says, why did they go to Delaney Hall when Donna Jackson uncovered another slumlord building at 219 Mount Prospect Avenue in Newark today? Check out her video on Facebook. Fire department was there, and George emailed Aníbal Ramos. Thanks for that, George. But yeah, I don't know why they went to Delaney Hall, why it was such a priority. Well, actually, they said they were going there to do oversight. Okay, I think, okay, all right, that's their job. Nobody's disputing that. That's their job. And people, let me also point something out. Somebody said something on Facebook about them being on the congressional people being on public property and arguing that point as if, I don't know where they were going with it, but when you're at work and you're not in the actual office, but you're still on the clock and you go out and you're on public property or private property, it's considered you're in the field. That's what it's called. You're in the field. You're doing field work when you're away from your desk and your office. People who have employment experience knows what that means. People who have worked and have done office jobs and are required to go outside understand what field work is. So you're in the field, and your behavior or whatever you do in the field, it's charged up as you're at work. You're at work. And there's certain conduct you have to have when you're at work. Now, you may get into some type of argument with some people, voices may get a little elevated or whatever. But when you start using foul language and engaging in violence, putting your hands on people you may not think is a big deal, but there's standards. There's standards where certain things are not acceptable. Like if somebody pushed me, if that was my back that the congresswoman was putting elbows on, okay, I lived. I may feel like, yeah, I lived. I'm all right. I'm not gonna go and press charges. I'm not gonna be petty. But if I wanted to, I could. And that's essentially what happened. You know, the deck right now is not stacked in the congresswoman's favor. You have a Republican administration that you're challenging and going up against. Lay low. Lay low. Do your job, but legislate. Legislate. Put out some legislation or vote against bills that you think harm your constituency. Put forth bills that you think helps your constituencies. Be your constituents. Be a leader to your constituents. Don't go out there and tell your constituents or demonstrate behavior to your constituents of, well, we get what we want if we be violent. Or we get what we want by using foul language and quote cursing people out, unquote. In the real world, no. That type of behavior only works with the Black subculture, and you get results because basically it's like you're bullying people. So yeah, I just need people in positions of leadership to learn how to be leaders. If you're not a natural leader, and I'm going to have a discussion about leadership later on down the line, hopefully in September when I come back. But yeah, learn how to be a leader. Being a leader is not putting your foot on your constituents' necks. And I'm not saying you have to accept anyone putting their foot on your neck. But just, don't go out there demonstrating behaviors that are backwards. Grow, uplift, and empower. That wasn't empowering. I'm sorry. And I don't even want to keep talking about it, but people keep sending me messages and about it, and it's like, enough already. Understand the law is the law, and that's it. Oh, we got Brittany here. Hey, Brittany, what's up? How are you? Congratulations. To you. Not, I think you did really good too. I think you did really good. Not to put you on the spot, but I see you in the comments. If you want to jump on this live, jump on. And if you want to talk about elected officials and what our expectations should be moving forward and how we could work together to make our communities better, because that's what I'm interested in right now. I don't care about who didn't win and all that other kind of stuff, because or who's not in a position with the leadership title. I care about who's doing the work. I care about how can I connect with the people that's in there to get the work done. So I'm happy. I'm happy you're here too. I'm happy you're here too. We definitely have to talk this week, Brittany. Definitely. I want to catch up with you. But I think, yeah, I think you did really good. You were out there knocking on doors. To me, you exemplify leadership. And I just wish people would get out of their own way and let you do your thing. I hope, like, if I could support in more ways, let me know. Like I hope, like, oh wow. My apology. It just completely cut me off. But anyway, shout out to you, Brittany, for the race that you participated in. Definitely. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for caring about the city, your region. Thank you for caring. Muta says, absolutely, the leader must display a level of emotional intelligence that sets the example for those that follow. I think and it's more. It's okay, you guys are still there. I think it's more than emotional intelligence, because you also have to address the BS too. You have to address that as well. And we have to stop playing games with the BS. And like I said, I don't want to keep talking about Congresswoman McIver, but the behavior was unacceptable. You went to do your job, plus you did more outside of your job that you shouldn't have been doing. And it's not Broad and Market Street. It's not Newark City Council meeting. You gotta show a certain level of character as a federal official. You don't throw your weight around. That's not cool. That's not acceptable on that level. And if you want to do that, you need to come back down and just continue to be a councilwoman until you're ready. But I genuinely feel sad about what's to come, because I really believe it was avoidable. I really do. I really do. And I'm sick and tired of what we have to address. People want to not walk on eggshells because they don't want to offend someone, but some of the people, they gave her bad advice. They're giving her bad advice. And I think that's messed up. If you don't know what you're talking about, stop trying to be a lawyer. You're not a lawyer. You're not an attorney. You didn't go to law school. You didn't pass the bar. You're not currently practicing. Just, if you want to support. Just say, I support you, and support. Stop giving bad advice, and stop giving legal advice. You don't know what you're talking about. And I feel like that's what got her in this mess in the first place. Your friends will amp you up and pump you up to do stupid things, and you'll mess around and you'll be the one losing your job or your freedom. But yeah, that's it for that. I thought Zaire was going to join me. Let me give him a call, see where he's at. But yeah, and people are saying, oh, This is political. Zaire, are you still coming on? I'm sorry. Okay. All right. All right. Bye bye. Okay. Yeah, Zaire is about to call in. But yeah, you have all these new attorneys, but yet they didn't sit through law school and pass the bar. You got all these, all these new judges. Again, didn't sit past the bar, didn't practice law, and work their way up to be judges. But that's what they're doing now. All right, Zaire, you're live. You're up here. Oh, okay. He has us on mute. You know what I want to show you guys too? I want to show you
Hello, can you hear me?
who's. Yes, we can hear you.
Is
How do
my
you?
background loud? Is my background loud?
I mean, we can hear a little bit going on, but it's not that loud. We can hear you perfectly clear.
Okay. So what's going on here? My
We
bad.
had
A
we
little
had
bit.
Brittany Claybrooks in the comments.
Oh, what's good, Brittany? Tell me how is she?
She said she's getting better. She's happy to be here, and we're gonna talk this week.
Okay. Good, good, good.
I think she did an awesome job though,
She thinks, what you think about that pertaining to?
with her going out door to door, really engaging with the constituents in her
Okay.
district.
Okay.
And that's what it takes. Like, she was actually meeting the people that she would represent.
Okay.
So
So did she win the election for us?
no, she came in third. She was very
Okay.
close.
Third
Hold
on her
on,
first run. That's pretty
yeah,
good.
let me put up her number. She did, and she was like right behind
Well,
number
congrats and shout
two.
out to her. So just to let everybody know, I haven't been out of the loop. I'm not in Jersey anymore. I'm in a whole nother state. So that's why I'm asking all these questions like outside the loop. So congrats to her, shout out to
We
her.
definitely gotta have you
Uh,
on, Brittany, next week.
yeah, for sure. Sure. So did Raz win?
No, Raz did not win. Raz came in second place. He did pretty good too. He did pretty good.
Okay. Well, look, anybody can forecast that he probably wasn't going away just because of the whole ice debacle outside the facility. Um, I just think that that wasn't a clear representation of Newark and how Newark does business.
Okay.
I understood, is he a bad mayor? No, I wouldn't say a bad mayor. He's nothing like that mayor in Dalton, right? If you
Okay.
all know that Dalton mayor is. He's not a bad mayor. I just think that he jumped into the role. It's really, he jumped in from a grievance stance, right? The grievance against the mayor at the time, it was a grievance against a lot of cities. He was a
Okay.
grievance mayor at that time, right?
Okay.
Somebody who had grieved his way to office. He complained that he really had no solution. And at the time, we were all grieved. So he fed upon our fears and pretty much used that as a person to get office. And that's just how it works. That's the fact. Um, so I just think that him coming in number two, I think that is kind of good. I thought I didn't want him to win because I don't think he's ready for that office.
You
I
don't
just
think he's
don't.
ready for governor?
I don't think he's ready for that. I think he should work his way as an assemblyman. I don't think he should have ran for the third time again. I think he should
Okay.
have waited and became an assemblyman and done the work, understand the legislature. Um, the mayor to me, the mayor of the biggest city, that didn't, or, and I think that he thought that because he ran the biggest city that automatically qualified him, which he didn't.
Okay.
Um, and plus, he has no real patriotic stance. If you run for governor, you gotta have some form. patriotic.
Right,
Like
right.
you gotta have a military background or a
Okay.
distinguished background. His track record is not that good, specifically even as being to, the principal of Central High School. That was actually one of the worst performing schools during his tenure. There's
Right.
nothing that he came out and I would say he turned besides the speeches that he gave. And to me, that's nothing, specifically from a person like him who was a community activist and not just a community activist, but his father his father did it for him. So I don't think that him standing in front of large crowds is nothing new. And all that. There was nothing that impressed me about what he did when it came to school and him being an advocate. I think that he should have
Okay.
took his time and not run on that hurt and then wait to attend. I think that would have put him at the state house, and he needs to understand that he can't be a passive disruptor. He went in on this level as disruptor, right? Rather than, and it was publicly spilled out with him and the Democratic Party leadership, things like that. And what he should have did was place himself strategically in a lot of decisions, right? And
Okay.
helping out. He needs to understand when to be diplomatic. Everything's not
Right.
going to go his way. And I
Right.
think that when he failed to be diplomatic, it really hurt him, right? And him calling everybody out, doing all of that rather than saying, you know what, not right now. This may not be the best right now, however, you can work something out. You can go. My whole thing is that do I think that he was prepared to go anywhere? Do I think he's fit for a memorial role? Yes, for sure he did something that mayor. I think that he should have stepped into an assemblyman role, played that part, or wait for Congress. I think that should have and stayed there for quite some time. And then went to the
Okay.
as you look at Phil Murphy from,
Okay.
and it's really that majority of the government roles in New Jersey had U.S. government background, right? If
Right.
you look at Chris Christie, was attorney, Phil Murphy, was a diplomat for Germany, right?
Right.
Got the Obama. So there really wasn't no wow factor for that, rather than just being a disruptor, right? He's
Yeah, I think the
disruptive.
disruptor strategy didn't
It
work in
hurt him.
his favor.
It. So that's just something that I just,
Mm-hmm.
I just think that he should have done something different. He should have done something
Okay.
different. Going to get somebody that, once again, has federal foot in the Air Force.
Right.
So a congresswoman, right? So she had that patriotic spirit, that peace and love. I don't think she could have understood that. Aaron Norwood comes from a real prestigious background in terms of college. DC Senator Cory Booker came from, he came from somewhat of an Ivy League, but he had some fans, right? He came from an Ivy League, even though he didn't have U.S. government schools, but he came from an Ivy League. So
Right.
you look
Yeah, he
at that.
did.
You look at that. Unfortunately, still look like that we saw brands, so to speak, right? Brand, with your brand, professional branding, everything to it for well. And I just think that, I don't think he will do it governor at this moment. I think he should wait to turn from lieutenant governor if they offer him.
So
I
you
think
think
he
he
should,
should go for lieutenant governor?
I think he should go for lieutenant governor.
I agree too. I agree
I
with
think he,
you.
I think he'd be a great lieutenant governor because he does, in all honesty, he has the capacity to run for governor. I think it didn't come from the people who
Right.
are paid for an advantage. I think he truly did mean and wanted to make meaningful change. But he has to understand, you ain't making nothing if the legislature ain't. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Right.
you
Right.
have to understand if you want to really make impact, there's a difference between making impact and making change. You can change the thing, I'm changing the rules.
Right.
However, the impact comes from the legislator where it goes. what are the rules? How are they set the rules, right? So I think that
Exactly.
it was really, really smart government it should have just been assembly, with this Congress. And I think he would have been a great congressman. I think he probably would have been a great president. He has a passion for it. However, like I said, I tell people, I think he a lot of his work policies, a lot of things he did for city work. However, will he be a great congressman there? And he needs to understand the legislative aspect of it. So once he understands that, I think he'll be a good leader. I think he'll be.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I like that business like that. I don't even mess with that business like that.
Mad disrespectful.
Man,
My computer is being just the most disrespectfulest.
oh,
Um
okay.
yeah, I can't even get my image back on. So
Okay.
we're like just two little circles vibrating as we speak on the screen. So I apologize to the listeners and the viewers. I promise to have this ironed out next week. This is not going to happen. We're going to have Brittany on. We're going to talk about her numbers. We're going to talk about her experience and just have her walk us through this. And I agree with a lot of what you said about the mayor, and if he's truly committed and passionate about being an elected official, I think he should, try to get that lieutenant governor spot and legislate, make some
Yeah,
legislation.
yeah,
What?
I think that it actually is more smarter because then he'll be able to create the rules that he wants to play in once he becomes governor. You
Right,
get what I'm saying? You're laying the
right,
foundation.
right,
So I think like I said, I don't like not that I don't like him because I don't know him personally. I don't like some of his policies,
right.
but
Okay.
from a diplomacy standpoint, he needs to understand that you can't get your way all the time. There's plenty of things that I don't
Right.
agree with,
Mm-hmm.
and civil discourse is our best friend. I don't think that that ICE situation made it any better.
I know. I think that was a terrible idea. And I completely understand that he has to be a leader for everyone with different interests, different wants, preferences, needs, and all that other kind of stuff. But at the same time, I don't think that was a priority for the constituents. And I think that it was a very bad strategy. And I really hope that people who are listening, who really support him and who are really about civil discourse and about growing and committed to empowering the community, listen and don't emotionalize it. You know what I mean? And say, oh, she doesn't like him and she's saying this. No, it's constructive criticism. And I think we need to be more accepting of that. Like you said, you can't get your way all the time.
Yeah,
There's things that
yeah.
I don't like, that me personally that I don't like, but I accept that
I
the
don't
law is the
think
law. The
I
law is
don't
the
think
law.
public I don't think public display of dissatisfaction against your very constituents that voted this person into office, I don't think that expresses your willingness to compromise and
Right.
that's one
Right.
thing, and then now they may feel some type of way that well who if this guy can disagree and once again we're all trying to steer away from Trump, so to speak, from the Democrat standpoint, right?
Right.
You guys
Right.
are trying to steer away from the Trump thing
Right.
of retaliation. So if he's going off and saying, I was bamboozled, I was stripped and I was this and I was that, it doesn't,
It does a disservice
it does a
to the
disservice
yeah.
to the very essence of democracy, in the
Right. And
democracy
move
they're
it
trying to
forward.
fight for. Exactly.
Right.
And so,
Right.
like, I don't understand that because it's hypocritical. You talk about forward together, or moving forward in his last campaign, but yet again, you talking about something that's already happened. Now let's strategize on how can we do better? How can we strategize on how can we beat Trump? That should be
Right.
the real essence.
Right.
You trying to fight the system. You get what I'm saying? Of the oppression and this and all of that, and yet again you fighting your own party. So you got to pick and choose who you want to fight.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah,
And not even just your own party, your constituency. Why make why make 1,000 enemies when you can make 1,000 friends and not one enemy? I
yep.
would rather make 1,000 friends. I would rather truly make 1,000 friends. And it's not people about, oh, you want to be likable. No, it's not that. It's not that. It's what can we do? How, like you said, compromise. How can we compromise so that I'm your friend and you're my friend so that we all can make the environment that we live in better?
Yeah,
Where
it,
you
it,
would
it, it's,
feel
it's, it's, it's the echoes of a previous battle cry. What is it? They stole the election. You know what I'm saying?
right,
You see how it coexists? So I
right,
think that his strategy is not really, it's consistent with more of a Trump
right,
thing. And he has to be very careful because you can't be no black Trump, especially
right,
when the
right,
Democrat thing.
right.
So
And you know I
that's his
joke
echoes.
around. You know I
Mhm.
joke around when I'm doing my roast thing, and people
Yeah.
really take it serious and be mad
Hey,
when I
Glenn,
call him Raz J Trump,
how you doing?
because some of the things, yeah, you stole, the election was stolen. You were, like you said, you got cheated and all. Like what, man? Please,
Mhm. Yeah, and that
please.
and
You
that.
sound like Trump. You sound like the very thing that you want to fight.
Hmm. Yeah, so I
And
got.
that goes back to when I hit them at the council meeting with Animal Farm,
Yeah,
when the animals, they overthrew the farmers so that they can have self-determination over themselves and their lives. But then once they got the farmers out, they started acting the same way as the oppressors, and they started oppressing each other. And then it ended up, yeah, in another revolution, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah,
yeah,
they started creating classes, and elitism crept back in. It was the same environment, but with different individuals doing it. And I think we got to be very careful about that. Like you said, you can't be no black Donald Trump. That's not gonna work. You can't do that. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. You in a party that's a little bit more liberal. And if you're really about it, you gotta do some soul searching and start figuring out how to adjust to it in ways that's comfortable for you. And if it's not comfortable, then it's not for you, and you should let somebody else do it and support them. That's just like my final thought about that, because oftentimes we want what we believe are the perks that come with the title of these leadership positions, but we don't want to do the work. You can't have it like that. That's not the real world. Is going to fail eventually. Mayo Keenan says things are starting to filter out about how Elon Musk helped Trump steal the election. I heard about that. I also heard about Biden not being physically fit, and his doctor wasn't forthcoming about that. So that's coming out. Mayo Keenan says we're speaking a man that the majority of Newark residents know nothing about. Who? Which man? Which man? Which
I think
man?
he's talking about the mayor. I want to.
Oh, the man?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, he's talking about the mayor.
All right. I really cannot get myself on his screen. I'm sorry. I apologize. I just have to be the avatar. You guys have to see the avatar up here. But Zaire, we got to get your avatar too. We got to get your picture. You will have to upload it though, so that we can have your picture right there as you're talking. Oh, the governor elect. She's talking about the governor elect. Okay, the governor elected. Okay, I got you. But I want to let me see if I can share the election commission. I was going to share some results with some people, not results, some a resource of information. People wanted to know. Let me just put me over here. I'll put us on the side. I'm going to share the screen. Let's go to the New Jersey election law enforcement commission. Now, this is where you find out who gave money to what candidates, the complaints, final decisions by the commission, New Jersey Election Law Enforcement Commission, lobbying reports. Let's go right here to the candidates. If you want to view a candidate or a committee's report, you just go right there, click on, just follow the clicks. You can replay this back too. You put in the name. Let's say we want to do Raz. We can do election year, current year. Let's do the current year. You can search. And we could go right here, statewide. You can see who donated. These are the reports that Raz filed. So I'm not going to click on them because it's slowing down my computer. But you guys get the gist of it. Summary data. Let's go back to the search again. Let's see. Let's put in let's put in the Westward councilman. Wait, I think that was like 2022. Yeah, let's search. All right. Like we can see who gave money. Click down here. These are the filed reports. I said I wasn't going to click on the PDF because it's eating up my data, but okay. Oh, wow. Hold on. Oh, they had a joint committee. You could look and see that there. But anyway, it shows you a list of names of people who voted for these people, or who gave donations, who was the treasurer, the chairperson. You can see who's linked with who. You have Monaco Cruz, their address, Allen Morrison. Back it up. But when I'm talking and I'm giving you guys information, I'm actually getting it from reputable sources. Clear all the fields. So you can put anybody in. Let's go back. Those are the Fallons. Oh, contributions. Let me go right here. Contributions by contributors. You can put people's names in up here. If you think somebody's supporting a candidate, you type their name, last name, first name, search, it comes up. You can see the expense information by candidate, all that good stuff. Contributions to party. So when people are talking about somebody receive money from an APAC, this is what they're talking about. Let's see. Mayo Keenan says, look into who gave money, then go look for property acquired by them or companies they're involved in. Right.
That's fair game. That's fair game.
There was no investigation how Trump won heavily Democratic states.
That's fair game.
It is fair game, but
Okay.
it's also public record too. It's public record. If you want to know who's linked up with who, you
Yeah.
most certainly get that information. Let me go over here. Let's go right here. See, let's go here to, okay, you see all these people? Different townships, school board. Let's click on, hold on, let's go over here. Search. See if the person didn't contribute, no record found. Let's get out of here. But I just wanted to give you guys that because I did the opensecrets.org last week. So I wanted to give you the elect one. Hold on, let me put the link in for you too. New Jersey Election Commission. New Jersey Election Law Enforcement Commission. It's electnj.gov. Let's put it up here for you real quick. Hold on. Let's get it going. Save. Oh, wow. All right, people.
Hello, Shakim, are you still there?
Hey, headphone. Okay. Wow, that was crazy. Oh my gosh. All right, so the FCC. All right, you're still here. Thank you for coming, for staying. I was trying to give you guys the ELEC website, and the FCC wouldn't let me be. It's all good. It's all good. There's the link right there. Okay. And I will make sure I scroll it at the bottom. Okay. So that's the link. Zaya said it's fair game. Yeah, it is, but you can still it's also public information too. And if they have nothing to hide, then why would they care if you brought it to their attention who's supporting who? All right, so I apologize. The show was a little bit choppy and kicking me off and all that other stuff, but I'll be back next week. I'm trying to hopefully we can get Brittany Claybrooks on, like I said, and talk about her whole experience, what she learned, the takeaways, and whatever other questions you all have for her. Mayo Keenan says you know that they're going to monitor information that we're giving. Yeah, that yeah. Oh my gosh, that was a little crazy, but I kind of anticipated stuff like this would happen, so I have something to prevent it in the near future, but I had to see if it was going to happen. So now I know what measures I have to put into place. We do a lot of contingency planning, especially Zaire and I. We talk about things that can go wrong, things that will go wrong, and how we will adjust so that we could work through and problem solve so that we can continue to get the information out and continue to have the stream. But I'm like shocked because I didn't think the stream was that impactful. I know it was impactful, but not like that where the FCC just won't let me be. And I don't even use profanity. They usually go after you for stuff like that, using profanity or violating someone's copyrights. Those are the little violations they use to knock you off, to say, oh, you're using too much profanity or you're copywriting people's stuff. And people usually like try to report, but if there's nothing done that's egregious or foul language or copyright infringement, they can't bother you. So I don't know how they were able to get through this evening. And I know before, initially in the beginning too, we used to have the wine. We used to drink the wine, Zaire and I, and we took that off because we didn't want to have like negative influences on the kids, and we didn't want it to appear that we're always drinking wine because we're not. And some of the times it was just we weren't really we didn't it wasn't even wine. We were just pouring juice in the wine glasses and it appeared to be wine. But yeah, we took that off because we didn't want that to be an issue. And also we have to be empowering and we have to be people of our words. If we don't want to see our leaders and elected officials do it, we shouldn't be doing it either, because people are actually following what we're doing as well. Yeah, I think it's very ridiculous on how they're trying to censor everything. It's very ridiculous, but we know we're not doing anything wrong. So, and if someone tries to make something up on us, then we'll be in a position to fight. But if we are doing something wrong, we're going to acknowledge it. We're going to acknowledge it, and we're going to strategize on how we can do better. Because nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. But what counts is that you acknowledge your wrongdoing, or where you had a mishap, and you can move on from there. But then also too, we got to be real. We got to live in reality. We have to stop making up stuff that didn't happen to us. You know what I mean? We have to stop doing that. Stop doing that. Like, for even with the mayor, you did good. You did good. And I don't think it has anything to do with you're black or not black. He did really good. And just acknowledge that you did not win. You didn't win, but you did good. And accept that and move on and do better than that. I'm not saying beat yourself up either. He shouldn't beat himself up because he didn't win, but you did good. And then learn from this and respect other people who do good, who are equally competing clean, not cheating, none of that stuff. Respect them and support them too, and grow networks and alliances with those people, instead of getting in their way and trying to keep them out of the arena when you need them. We all need each other. Mayo Keenan says, what is Raz going to do now? I don't know if you heard, Zaire and I, we don't know. We think like he should, if he's offered lieutenant governor, he should take it. Some people talk about, you don't have no power when you're a lieutenant governor, all this other stuff. But what do they know? Are they in a political seat? Or are they even experienced? What do they know? Can they even give some type of substantial and meaningful analysis on the political landscape in New Jersey? So I wouldn't take any advice from them, but we're hoping he learns and he grows. But like Zaire said, he can't be a black Donald Trump talking about the election was stolen from him, because that's not what happened. That's not what happened at all. And when the machine was working in his favor, he had nothing bad to say about it. So why tear it down now? Just build it up and make it better. Mayo Keenan says, I'm hoping someone create an online media service that is free of censorship. Right. I do too. But I'm going to let everyone go. I'm a little exhausted today with work. This is a sidebar, but I have to say this because we have to deal with reality. The young people, they just drained me today. The people that's like 25 to 30 are doing some really, really, really senseless things, and it's having a negative impact on their lives, the little people lives that they created. And I'm just so disappointed because I don't understand how these people they want financial wealth, they want to build generational wealth, and they really think they're going to do it on welfare. They're not setting good examples for their children. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. So I'm a little bit tired of them. I really am. And I just feel like the leadership has failed them. And I think we need to use this as an opportunity to get better and do better. So I'm out here trying to make 1,000 friends and not one enemy, contrary to what some people on Facebook will post in the comments. Somebody said I didn't like somebody, but they didn't provide a reason why or any proof or evidence. But for some reason, they implied that they're a mind reader. So I don't know. Maybe I'll like reach out to that person and ask them, since they're a fortune teller, maybe they can like give me the numbers they for the lottery so that I can play this lottery and win all this money, so I don't have to go work with people who don't want to do better for themselves than they're little people. It's exhausting and disappointing. Like, oh man. Let me see. Myo Keenan says, I hope that he does. Maybe he can do better for Newark from a distance. Right. Because he has something to prove. And it's a little different when you're around people that's not from Newark. It changes how you operate and how you work. Like Zaire said, maybe he'll be able to put forth some legislation that benefits Newark and helps Newark. I didn't hear it. I read it. I read it somewhere. But yeah, I'm exhausted actually. I don't know. I have to get off this stream and go take a nap. So I'll see you all later. Let's get Brittany Claybrooks on for next week. I hope you guys tune in next week. Don't worry. It won't shut off on us. It won't, the FCC won't get us next week. All right. So come on next week. I look forward to seeing you all. Peace. I'm out of here.